People in their 40s and 50s with no children, how does it feel? I'm very glad to have been a part of the lives of my brother's kids, but I would have been a terrible parent myself, so it's all good. I'm only 29, but this is where my head is at. I'm so excited to be an aunt, but I have no desire for children of my own. Same, but I probably won't get to be an aunt either. And I'm not too sad about that, TBH. It is what it is. This. I was such a fuck up in my 20s to mid 30s. By the time I got my shit straight and found a person I wanted to spend the rest of my life, I was about to turn 40. We both agreed that ship has sailed, and it's selfish to force any thoughts of children on kids that would be in high school when I'm in my 60s. I love my nieces and nephews, my best friend's kids, but that's it. My parents had me when they were 39 and 42. Their age never bothered me. I didn't feel like they were old at all personally, especially my dad because he was active and fun. Maybe sometimes parents think about this stuff more than children. I feel like early 40s isn't that old to have children. Just take care of your health and try to live long for them. Yes, I adore being an aunt. I mean, I'm technically in my 30s for a few more days and the kids are very young, but like I took the toddler to the zoo on Friday. We had a blast. She's pretty little to get a lot of it, but she really loved watching the meerkats zoom around their habitat. But after that, I was physically destroyed for the rest of the day. But I got to give her back and go rest, so it's perfect. I could never ever keep up with a kid 24/7. I love my nieces more than anything. They truly do enrich life, and I love being an uncle. I feel more connected, happy, and alive than any time alone I get or any purchase I've made when I'm with them. But with lifelong depression and mood disorder, it's just not something I feel I'd handle well. My brother and sister-in-law are at their limit exhausted, and the kids aren't even to teen years, but they love their kids more than anything, obviously. So I think logistically and financially it's easier, but less fulfilling. Not to say you can't find fulfillment in other ways. I also consider I'm only 40. Right now I'm taking care of my parents approaching 70, and my nieces will take care of their parents. But I will have nobody, and unfortunately no amount of money can buy that kind of love. We'll see. But no regrets. It is my path. I'm almost 40, and I feel the same. Seeing my nephews and nieces once in a while is good, and seeing one of my friends taking her two kids with her when we met up for lunch made me realize that at this stage of my life, I am not interested in making such a big commitment. I used to want kids of my own, but now I am happy that I am childless so I can do things that I want. I worried I might be a terrible parent, but probably for different reasons for you. My parents were domineering tyrant psychopaths, and I was afraid if there was a chance to become like them, then I didn't want to expose a child to it. People tell me I'm a mellow person, but people described my parents as mellow and easygoing in their youth. I'm old enough to know that 10-15 years can change a person significantly. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago, and while I feel I am better off now than what I was, I don't know who or what I would be in the future, and I'm not going to gamble on that to have a child. I wish I had done this. I have terrible genes, high blood pressure, I had a stroke 2 years ago, cancer on my mom's side, and never wanted to have a kid, but then I met someone, got married, and it just seemed like the thing to do. I was around a lot of middle-aged academics, most of whom didn't have kids, and they all seemed miserable, so I didn't want to turn into that. Hey man, did you already subscribe on me? You don't? Subscribe and press like faster. I love my son, but I feel like I've left him at a disadvantage, especially since his mom and I divorced 2 years ago. I have a niece about 2 years older than my son, and I think I should have stayed the fun uncle. I enjoy visiting with her. I definitely think it was the right choice for me. Gotta be honest with myself, I am a little lazy and selfish, and while I think I might have been a decent dad, I don't think I would have been a happy one. I never understood the argument that if you do not want to have kids, you're a selfish person. You're selfish to who exactly? A potential human that doesn't exist? I'd argue it's selfish to have kids because you're doing it for your own desires. For me, it's not that I'm selfish in regards to like my mom or dad or family or whatever, but that I am literally selfish and would resent the child for making me spend all my precious time taking care of it. I know I would never hurt the kid and would do my best, but I know I would be miserable deep inside for the 20 years they need my constant care and supervision. I hold my own time and my own hobbies too precious to forsake them for 20 years for the benefit of another. I am literally selfish. Context: female, 44, no kids, married. Selfish is seen as a negative trait, but it isn't that simple. Knowing you would be miserable, which kids often pick up on but can't explain, doesn't make you selfish for not having them. It would affect them. Most people are a level of selfish anyway because otherwise you'll be taken advantage of. But the simple fact that you still try to raise the kids and not just abandon them to adoption shows you're not as selfish as you think. Truly selfish people wouldn't do that. On the one hand, I seriously envy my friends who have two lovely sons who are now in high school. On the other hand, I'm glad that I'm not my sister and brother-in-law who have two spawns of Satan who are 4 and 6. Edit? Who would have thought that my top comment ever would be calling my nephews spawns of Satan? They're absolutely a high-energy handful and frustrating to deal with right now, but they are good kids and I love them to bits. I just moderate my time with them to save my sanity. My sister is a mess, and my parents had to step in and basically raise her two kids. My friends are at the stage where their children are becoming adults, and some of them are royally fucking up their lives. Watching my parents deal with my sister and my friends deal with their kids, I'm so glad I didn't reproduce. I don't have one regret. People always assume their kids will be great. In reality, it's a crapshoot, and you could end up with kids that make your life hell. That's the way I feel. Some kids make me broody. They're cute, polite, well-balanced, and easygoing. Most kids, though, are like screaming, tantrum-filled, iPad-glued, misbehaving snotballs whose entire purpose appears to be to cause stress and make mess. Those ones make me glad that we aren't able to have kids without medical intervention, and as a result, my wife and I have decided to have a child-free life. It takes a crap ton of effort and patience making them cute, polite, well-balanced, and easygoing. And you have to do it every day, all days. I never once had the tingling feeling of wanting to become a parent. I simply don't have that want, desire, responsibility to raise a child, especially in this timeline we're living in. Then I met my wife, who thinks the exact same way. We both love traveling, backpacking, camping, etc. It's freeing knowing we can get up in a split second and go. I can't even take care of myself, let alone have to take care of another living person. So I just do what I want with my life and have a great time doing it. It's pretty awesome. I can't even take care of myself, let alone have to take care of another living person. Yeah, man, I feel you. Same, my GF once bought me a dog, and I was like, TF, now I have two beings to take care of. Pretty great. My wife turned out to be a narcissistic abuser, so I divorced her. First, no kids that would have suffered from her behavior. Second, no kids that would have suffered through the divorce. I'm more than happy to be the silly, fun uncle to my brother's kids. For a while, I was a fence sitter. It wasn't until 30 that I realized it was even a choice and not an inevitability. In US culture, marriage and children are a common life script. It took time for me to acknowledge that that script isn't a good fit for me, and it didn't solidify until my late 30s. For a while, it was money and security, as well as environmental concerns and overpopulation. But it was also simply a lack of real desire to be a parent. I've often wished we could live multiple lives so that we can try all the things. But in this life, I don't really want children. That was hard for me to grapple with in some ways because I was blessed with great parents, and my mother was a fantastically caring role model. But my biggest reason for thinking about parenthood was fear of regret. That's not enough. Parents should really want their children. This is a whole other human being you're bringing into this world. They deserve to be wanted and loved and properly cared for. You're responsible for them, and it might not turn out roses. Parental anxiety doesn't magically dissipate after 18 years either. For the rest of your life, you are a parent. There are also a lot of physical things that can go wrong with pregnancy, especially the pregnant person, which are not talked about enough. Our society holds a very rose-colored glasses view of pregnancy as glowing and natural. It really messes with people's bodies, not to mention postpartum mental health. A lot of folks will argue that not having children is selfish. This is puzzling because those same folks will say in the next breath that having children ensures you won't die lonely. If you need to be a parent because that feels like your destiny and you are full of love, that's one thing. But if you're having children to safeguard your own future, now that is selfish. Not to mention the resources impact on the planet, etc., etc. If you are unhappy, parenthood won't fix it. If you are lonely, parenthood won't fix it. If you're following a life script in a daze, trying to check all the right boxes, Take a moment to examine your reasons. If you want to be a parent, that's great. Best of love and luck. It's possible to live a comfortable life full of love while doing what you want, while taking time to give back to your community, while staying open and curious and generally living a good life without adding parenthood into the mix. I wanted to have kids, but I couldn't. So sometimes I'm a bit sad seeing friends and colleagues having children, but it's nothing I can change, so I'm usually not thinking much about it. And sometimes I'm also a bit glad I don't have kids seeing how the world goes to shit, and no one seems to care to make the necessary changes so that their children or grandchildren will still have a livable world. Can't believe there are people claiming child-free people don't care for the state of the only planet we call home. Of course we care. We have nephews, nieces, and family that will have kids that we care about deeply. I wasn't even going to comment because I'm only 34 without kids, but you weirdos with your assumptions can be annoying. Not having kids is amazing for some and sad for others. Also, we can care about people we're not related to and people we will never know, and who can never do anything for us. Kind of like how non-religious people can still be guided by their own consciences. I wanted children, but my uterus decided that ejecting them would be a better idea. I sometimes grieve the idea of being a parent. Then I snap back to reality when the reality of my life makes me not fit to be a parent. I am on the disability pension for MS, I am legally blind and cannot drive and have to depend on others to do things for me. I could not provide what I feel is a fulfilling life for a child. I get to sleep in, I get to love my cats and be the weird aunt to my nibblings instead. It is what it is and I am at peace with it. As someone who has wanted to have children but has fertility issues, it's been soul-crushing. Yeah, I have freedom. But the only thing worse than being disappointed myself is watching my wife struggle. Having and raising kids is all she's ever wanted, and I have been unable to give her that. Hoping to adopt, but it's an incredibly lonely and vulnerable experience, especially if you aren't willing to go through a religious agency. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe and comment. How does it feel to have or not children? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.